When the Australian Jewish Association was founded 2 years ago, we knew that there was a need for a stronger Jewish voice within the community. We knew that anti-Semitism was never far from the surface, and we knew that whilst neo-Nazi thugs would always be around to provoke Jews with Holocaust themes, we also knew that Islamic anti-Semitism was an increasing issue as Australia's Muslim community rose in numbers. We knew all that, but most of our Jewish communal organisations didn't. Or at least if they did, they were and still are in denial about it. And I'm mentioning this today because of the front page story that the Australian Jewish News broke and which has since gone viral on the internet. It describes the bullying, harassment and anti-Semitism that some Jewish students have been subjected to within the public school system here in Melbourne. In particular, the story featured a photo of a teenage boy being forced, under threat of personal harm, to bow down and kiss the feet of a Muslim fellow student. This could just be the tip of the iceberg, but take a look at this photo for a moment. Now, we don't know exactly how much of this incident was primarily a bullying episode, how much of it was specifically because the kid was Jewish, or how much of it was driven by Muslim students manifesting the latent anti-Semitism within that belief system. Probably all of the above, but whichever way you look at it, there is a smell about this nasty anti-Semitic incident, and the foot kissing certainly reeks of a significant Islamic component, perhaps along with some junior form of white supremacist thuggery. The matter has been handed to the Anti-Defamation Commission, but I dare say that we will never see the outcome of this investigation unless it turns out that the instigators of the incident were in fact linked to neo-Nazi anti-Semitism. That's because while neo-Nazi anti-Semitism is flavour of the year, and yes, it is unfortunately on the rise, Islamic anti-Semitism is the Voldemort of our Jewish communal organisations. For those who have never read any Harry Potter books, Voldemort is the archenemy that, quote, cannot be named. What is particularly interesting about this latest incident is its theme of dhimmitude. Islamic theology teaches that a dhimmi, D-H-I-M-M-I, is a second-class citizen that is only just tolerated within a Muslim community. The word dhimmitude is formed by linking that word with the notion of servitude, whereby non-Muslims exist only to serve their superior Muslim masters and in return for some protection. The anti-Semitic bullying reportedly here went on for months and included both physical and specific anti-Semitic verbal abuse, before culminating in this humiliation of the Jewish boy. But if you're wondering what's happened since the event occurred, the mother of the boy concerned approached the school only to have the principal whitewash the whole incident. The mother is reported as saying that the school wasn't even prepared to label it as a case of anti-Semitism, which now makes this a dreadful case of leadership failure within the Jewish education system. And to make matters worse, the Jewish boy involved has now just received additional serious threats from a Year 10 Muslim boy at the school. The violent language is absolutely vulgar, and the AJA understands that it will now be the subject of a police investigation. Interestingly, the victim's mother also commented that everything these days is regarded as an isolated incident. And here, I think she's hit the nail on the head. It's too easy to label these occurrences as one-offs, because then you don't have to admit that you have a problem. Just look at how the media deals with Islamic terrorist attacks, which always reports the perpetrators as lone wolves. It's the easy way of avoiding a difficult problem. However, ultimately, these matters will never go away unless they are confronted and properly dealt with. And quite honestly, these events don't occur in a vacuum. Apart from reprimanding the students themselves and investigating the education department, there also has to be some accountability by the parents of the offending kids, along with any religious or cultural institutions that their families may associate with. The AJA will be watching to see if the facts of this case are released, but in an environment where the Muslim community wants this country to have one set of racial discrimination laws for them and a different set for all the other religions, I'm very sceptical of our communal organisations having the courage to tell us what really happened. Let's hope I'm wrong in this, but they all have a very poor record to live up to. This is Alan Friedman for the Australian Jewish Association.